I want to thank you all for coming in here today, fighting the traffic like always. I'm just so blessed that we're all here. I want to say hi to, I know we've met before, but just...
Fred Steyer, how y'all doing?
Hi, Fred.
Been flipping houses for almost 20 years.
So you're new at it, okay. All right, well.
So I need some help.
There you go. Yeah, it's
doing something wrong.
That's the beauty about education. We get you coming and going. If there's too many people out there buying, you're going to need help to get ahead of them. There's not enough people out there. You're going to have to get some education to figure out how to do it in the slow time. So that's sort of why Steve and I created this thing. I wanted to thank Irina for the food.
Yes.
Another wonderful job she did. That was nice. If anybody wants to supply the food, I'll give you 10 minutes up here. We'll promote your business kind of deal. So we can do that too. I know Kathy came in, brought food. That lasagna we had a couple weeks back. Just a reminder. Before I get too far, I'm going into prison. Speaking of prison, I'm going into prison tomorrow. So these prayer strips, if anybody wants to fill out a couple more of those prayer strips, we'll be doing those. I'll be collecting those at the end. Before I bring on Andrea and our special guest tonight, I told you that we will be drawing for tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, Friday. I'll be in prison, so I can't go. These $200 tickets for first row seats at the symphony. I like to sit in the first row, but I can't go to this one. Amos Lee, I've had his music up here for a while, sort of like a country, blues, jazzy kind of a singer, but these are right in front. Arena knows we go sit there all the time, front row, and these are $100 piece tickets, and you get them both. What I did is anybody who sponsors somebody or anybody who got in, their names are in that cup over there. If anybody wants to get in today, I'll hold it until the end of the meeting, and we can put your name in the drawing too for Friday. So that being said, that's there. If you're new here, I mean, we have these trifold flyers for people. You can see what our company is about and give it to somebody, maybe staple your card, do it, whatever. And you can give this out, 18 Reasons Why to Join Green. Speaking of cards, I'm going to be going on Vistaprint. Well, I won't, because I'm in prison, but Irina will. And if you want us to order your cards for you from Vistaprint, whatever they charge, however many you want, I'll just get the 100 or 250 for like another $2, give it 250. Give me your information, or give Irina your information, and we'll just get 3, 4, 5, 20 packs of cards. I know, like a lot of people, we don't want 7 sets of cards in our pocket, and having them is sometimes difficult. But if anybody needs green cards, we'll just order them here. We'll have them here for Wednesday night. Come here and pick them up. Okay, I already wrote notes because I'm so tired. Okay, last night at the the wholesale boot camp. I'm going to prison. The last time I was in there, one of the guys gave me a good moonshine recipe, and I got that on my brain. We have on Tuesday night a wholesale boot camp for door knocking and digging up properties and stuff. And Les brought up a question, which I already got asked 10,000 times. Why is our meeting on a Wednesday night? And we're right here in the Bible Belt. I get it all the time. I can't close the church. I already know, I already knew the answer or the question before you asked it. But on Monday and Thursday at 11 o'clock, we have an online, just like this thing is here, class on joining Green. If you guys have people who want to come physically to any time, and I'm just saying we have the 11 o'clock if you need it. If you want to use that to have a lunchtime kind of a meeting, then you guys just tell me, listen, I got, if I can get 20, 30, 10 people to come in here on a Monday, I don't care what day it is really, but we already have the Monday and Thursday set up that are already being filmed. You guys tell me, you want to have a second meeting here? I want to have 24-hour meetings in this place. I don't want to be here for 24 hours, but we'll give you the key. Tell us when you want to have a meeting. If we just ask people, what good's for you? We'll write them all down. We'll look at the list. And we'll say, okay, these 50 people said they'll show up. Now let's see how many actually show up, but yes. So yeah, if we want to do another meeting, not on a Wednesday, Monday is Monday Night Football, Thursday football, Sunday is Sunday, so there's never really a good day. But you guys figure out another time, another day, and we will make it happen here. All right, that's about it for me for a while. I'm going to bring on Andrea right now. He's going to give us a rundown of who our next speakers are for the end of the month to the end of the year. And I'm going to have him introduce our special guest today. I saw her show yesterday, right, Megan?
Yes.
And on self-directed IRA. And again, if you don't have a self-directed IRA, you better get it. I mean, it's one of the top 2 ways to get tax-free money when you retire. I wanted to say one more thing, but I lost. Oh, I'll think about it later. Doc, tell us what our prizes are. I was going to do that, Bob Barker.
Well, basically, I've become Vanna White to your Pat Sajak. That's a little disturbing. So, well, thank you, Mark. I take this opportunity to give a quick rundown of what's going on and what's coming up with Green. We have quite a few speakers on the docket between now and the end of the year. Next week, November 15th, we have Joe Gray speaking about insurance. And then after that, it's the November 22nd, Thanksgiving. It's the pre-Thanksgiving get-together at Green. I think that's going to be just a night to hang out and have a good time together. On the 29th of November, Deborah Bishop is coming in to speak to us. On December 6th, Barbara Ballinger is going to be speaking about how you can utilize Airbnb tactics with some of your own properties and potentially start to use that as another source of income. On December 13th, we have Samuel Dinash, who's going to be speaking to us about asset protection. And then lastly, December 20th, our own Eva Nightingale, who's our head of membership and marketing, is going to be speaking about the future push for Green. So we have a full docket as we head towards the end of the year. Moving on, I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the courses that we're either filming or in post-production or about to film with Green. As you know, we have what we call Green On Demand. It's the, we jokingly refer to it, Marcus and I refer to it as Netflix for real estate, and we're constantly working on building that. Just to let you know, the one that we're working on in post-production is actually a course that's done by Megan's dad, John, and it's on the self-directed IRA. We're proud to say we got our first wave of videos. It's about 44 minutes or so worth of the course. It's a substantial course, about 6 hours. of film, and we got our first 11 videos that make up about 44 minutes of that. Also, we're working on a course on Title Insurance 101 with Trish Murphy, who has been a guest at our Wednesday night investor club. And we're working on 2 upcoming courses that we're planning to film. One is Wholesaling Basics with Sharon Restrepo, who is a friend of mine and teacher here for Green, typically going on Wednesday mornings. She's here in West Palm Beach. In fact, my wife and I had the pleasure of having dinner with her and her husband, Juan, and we were talking about details for that upcoming course and filming that. So we're very excited. She's a very, very fine teacher. And if you haven't seen her teach, I advise you to take a look at the calendar and look under there. There's a special mastermind archive, and we have a number of her lessons, typically 15 to 20 minutes in length, and they're very, very good. And then lastly, the course that I'm really looking forward to is a course on the anatomy of the house. And this is Dave Alizada, Mark's childhood buddy, who actually spoke last week. And this is one of his most popular talks that he does up in New Jersey. And basically just going through the house, looking at all the various systems of the house, explaining the proper terminology, and then what that system actually does. And the purpose being so that you can speak to contractors with more authority and understanding, and hopefully, be able to work with them that much better because you understand what you're talking about. So that's give you a sense of what's upcoming, some of the projects as far as education. I'd like to turn my attention now to introducing our guest tonight. As Mark said, Megan Galane is the Director of Business Development for Mountain West IRA. She is also the host of a monthly program that she graciously teaches for us every first Tuesday of the month. It's typically at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock Central. She is a fine teacher, which is going to be on display tonight. Not to put any pressure on her, but she's going to do just fine. She's an excellent teacher, and really, I think you're going to really enjoy it. The IRA is a very intriguing topic, and the self-directed IRA is extremely potential. There's tremendous potential for the investor, and it's something I would urge you to pay close attention to tonight. And then look at the resources that she puts up every month into our mastermind archive, and also pay attention to this course that we're building in post-production with John. And without any further ado, Megan, I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to teach everyone about self-directed IRAs. And let's get started. So this is just an introduction. And just as a disclaimer, Mountain West IRA does not promote, endorse, or offer any investments. We do not offer investment, tax, financial, or legal advice to clients. Individuals who believe they need advice should consult the appropriate professionals licensed in that area. You can always come ask me questions, and I will point you in the right direction if I'm not able to answer them. What about Mountain West IRA? Who are we? So we have been empowering investors over 30 years. My dad, John Galane, who is the CEO, became a financial planner back in 1983. He became the vice president of Morgan Stanley in 1996. And in 2005, Mountain West IRA was established in Boise, Idaho. If you've not been out west, Boise is very beautiful. I'm not from there, but that's just where he lived. And so in 2005, that's when Mountain West was established. And we've had our Boise office for quite some time now. And our Clearwater, Florida office, which is the office I work out of, was opened in 2013. And in 2017, Main Star Trust became our sole custodian, which just means that all the funds are held with Main Star Trust. And instead of working with a bank who we were working with previously, Main Star Trust actually understands our business and what we do. With all the new banking regulations, we really wanted to make sure we had someone behind us who understood self-directed IRAs, especially with all the regulations that went into effect. So what is an IRA? Can I just see by raise of hands who knows what a self-directed IRA is? Okay, quite a few people from my camera view. I know it was panning a little while ago and I saw other people, but my view right now looks like you guys know all about it. So you have you on one side of the wall, and then that yellow line is like a Chinese wall. So what basically means is you're not able to touch your IRA funds. So we have Uncle Ira at the top. What does Uncle Ira not have that you need in order to sign documents? Anybody? Opposable thumbs. You're not able to sign your own documents. So Uncle Ira hires a third-party administrator, which is Mountain West IRA. The Mountain West IRA will then sign all the documents on behalf of Uncle Ira's IRA. So what this just means is you have to direct us when you want to make a purchase. Otherwise, your funds just sit in cash in an FDIC-insured bank account, earning a big 0%. You want to make sure you're investing if you're with us. And we have a custodian, Main Star Trust, who does all of our, they check up on us. We turn in all of our documents to them monthly, so they do see what's happening in the company. So if you have any worries about who is regulating us, Main Star Trust actually regulates us, I guess you can say. They're not a government agency, but they're another company that does look over our documents. Some basic questions. Do you have an IRA, Roth IRA, SEP, Simple, or Individual K plan? Can I see you raise a hand? Anybody that has these accounts? You already have self-directed in these accounts? If it's a yes, raise your hand. Perfect. Do you have any 401ks, 403bs, 457s, or other previous employer plans? Raise your hand. Perfect. Do you know you can invest your IRA or qualified plan in real estate with alternative assets? Yes, raise your hand. Perfect. I'm glad we're all here. You guys know all about it. And you guys already know it, so I'm just going to show you how anyways. So, did you know only about 3% of all Americans have enough assets to retire comfortably? Are you in that 3%? Or are you in the 97% plan? Are you planning to be that 3%? Most of our clients are planning to be that 3%. But what really matters is how you see yourself. And this is the biggest point that I want to make today, is that even though you may not be in that 3% now, as long as you plan, educate, and keep working towards your goals, it's how you see yourself in the long run anyways. So why should you self-direct? You should self-direct to take control of your retirement account. You have the freedom to invest in what you know and understand. You're able to drive higher returns because you have a larger range of investment choices. So basically, why should you self-direct? You should take control of your retirement. That's why. You're able to control everything, the investment, the ROI, and everything in between. So why not take control of your retirement? The types of plans that we do allow in self-directed with our accounts is the traditional IRA, which we'll go over all of these, the traditional SEP, Simple, Roth, HSA account, and we also have an individual K account, which I'll touch on heavily today, since investors love their checkbook control, and you also love, normally, ways to put away much more money to hide it from the IRS. So I will be going over the individual K pretty heavily. The HSA I'll not be touching on, and I did add the qualified plans that you can roll over from. So if you do have accounts that you're interested in rolling over from or using, it could be the PERS, 401k, 403b, and 457, and other employer plans if you have them, like a thrift savings plan or something like that. This is a long list of possible IRA investments. So the government tells us really what you can't invest in, not what you can invest in. So some disallowed investments are antiques, alcohol, art, life insurance. And classic cars falls under an antique, just if you're wondering. You cannot invest in cars either with your IRA. Alcohol seems to disappear, so the IRS does not let you invest in that. And artwork, it's really valued at the amount that somebody purchases it for, so it's really hard to get a hard number evaluation on it. And life insurance, we do not allow life insurance in IRA. So what is a prohibited transaction? Prohibited transactions are very heavily looked at by the IRS. With self-directed IRAs, I'm hitting on this right now up front while I still have your attention because it's that important. I want to make sure you really understand how severe a prohibited transaction can be. with a third-party administrator that cares about you. You can always call us and we'll walk you through the transaction. And if it is not a prohibited transaction, we'll let you know. And if it is a prohibited transaction, and we know 100% sure that it is, we'll let you know as well. If we are not, we'll make sure to point you to the correct attorney to make sure you're dealing with an attorney that understands the ERISA laws, ERISA laws. So an IRA, money is used or sent to a disqualified person, and the transaction between the disqualified person and the IRA takes place. A disqualified person is linear family, so grandparents, grandparents, their spouses, and children, grandchildren, their spouses. Linear family up the lineage line or down. Who can you invest with? You can invest with your brother, your sister, cousins, whoever is out wide, you can invest with them. I just like to say be careful whoever you're investing with. Make sure that if something goes wrong, you can always either collect your money or it will not make family events really awkward or none at all. So what counts as a prohibited transaction? This is selling, exchanging, leasing property or assets from the asset. So your children cannot rent your houses. I get a question a lot about, oh, my children are in college, can they live in the house my IRA owns and their friends rent it from me? No, your kids cannot live in that house. Lending money or extending credit to the plan. So you can't lend money to yourself or extend yourself a credit line with an IRA. With an individual K, you can. Just so we're clear on that, you can take a loan on an individual K. It's like a full-blown 401k plan. But IRAs, no lending money or no borrowing money from it or lending to yourself. Or any of those disqualified people that we discussed. Furnishing goods, services, or facilities to the assets of the plan. You're not able to, let's say, give an example, property management company. You own a property management company, and you want your property management company to watch over the asset, do all the maintenance, do everything that entails in property management company with your asset that's in your IRA. You cannot do this. It cannot be ran through your company, and an employee of yours cannot get paid to work on a house that your IRA owns. Is that clear? Yes? Raise the hands if that was clear. Okay. Just want to make sure I didn't lose anyone on that one. So if you were to own a property management company and you wanted to still look after your property and not hire another property management company, that's okay. You can do that. But you'd have to do that personally, and you'd have to hire the contractors as a third party, not as your employee under that property management company. So some consequences for prohibited transactions. You're treated as a distribution. You may have penalties for early withdrawal. You can accrue for underreporting if not caught early. If we catch it, we will work with you to try and fix it before we have to report to the IRS. Unfortunately, we do have to report to the IRS if it's not fixed. So work with us and we will work with you always. Participant may have to pay 15% tax and 100% penalty. So it has really severe consequences if you do not listen to us with a prohibited transaction. But I do want you to keep in mind, if we see them before, or if you talk to us before, we'll make sure they don't happen. And then if we see them later, like you didn't know and you had your daughter renting a house from you or something like that, even though we covered it in here, if that were to happen, we'll work with you to get it fixed. And you do have one warning before we actually have to report it to the IRS. So we can always fix it. Self-directed IRA account types. We're going to quickly go over this. I don't want to bore everybody. I want to get to the fun stuff. Self-directed IRA account types. The traditional, you are paying taxes on the tree. And for 2017 and 2018, the contribution limit is $5,500 with a $1,000 catch-up if you're over the age of 50. The Roth IRA, you're paying taxes on the seed, but not the tree. So you're paying taxes on that seed. You're growing tax-free. And the contribution is $5,500 with a $1,000 catch-up after the age of 50. The SEP IRA, which is great for sole proprietors. I see a lot of realtors, their CPAs talk them into getting a SEP when really an individual K may be better. But a SEP IRA is for a sole proprietor business owner, and you do have to be self-employed with earned income. And the contribution limit is 25% with a max of $54,000. So you do have to have a higher earned income in order to max out that account. The simple, we're going to skip. The individual K plan, sole proprietors, why I keep talking about these. They're so great. So these are for the sole proprietor business owners. My investors love these accounts. You get checkbook control with these. We allow, not every custodian allows, for you to have checkbook control. And we actually do. We allow for you to have checkbook control, which means that you can also invest in the stock market, or you can do your alternative assets as well. But you can do it by yourself, or you can walk through it with us with our normal forms. The options are up to you. A lot of options with these individual K accounts. So for a contribution, you have two ways to contribute to an individual K plan. The employer portion, which is 25% of adjusted gross income, with a max of $36,000, plus the employee portion of $18,000 of earned income. That could be 100% of earned income. So you're looking at about $54,000 in 1 year. Imagine putting that away in 1 year. That employee contribution, which is coming out of your pocket of 100% with the max of $18,000, that can be in a Roth. That means that you're growing your account tax-free because you're paying taxes on the $18,000, and that's what you get to invest with. Imagine putting $18,000 away in 1 year. Now, and then there's a catch-up contribution if you're over the age of 50, $5,000. So now we'll go into the individual K plan more. I find them to be really helpful for people that are trying to put away money faster, trying to get money for their next investment deal in their accounts, and they want to do something that will really benefit them. IRAs are great, but individual Ks, my investors seem to really, really love, especially lately. They've been huge lately. So who is an individual K for? They're for sole proprietor, independent contractors, partnerships, corporations, or S corps. You cannot have any common law employees with an individual K. It does have to be you can have a partner, or you can have your spouse in it, or I even have a gentleman who has his spouse and then 2 of his children work for him. That's fine. He just has to contribute the employer portion to everyone's account. So what is the criteria? It's a defined contribution plan for businesses that employ only the owners and their spouses and partners. So what this just means overall, or what the benefits are, the largest potential contribution for businesses without employees. You're able to reduce your business taxes. You are able to do the tax-free borrowing up to $50,000 or whatever is half of in your account. That's the loan from your individual K that I was talking about that you can do. And then you can have that deemed Roth option available for the employee portion of your contribution and checkbook control for on-the-spot transactions. Who here does the buying at the auctions? Any auction buyers here? I just like to know. So as we discussed, the individual K contribution up to age 50, it's $54,000 in 1 year, and over the age of 50, you're looking at $60,000 in 1 year. You could do that this year. You have until December 31st of 2017 to open an account, and you can work on getting it funded. Really depending on when you file your taxes and when you know your adjusted AGI, adjusted gross income, is when we'll actually need the contribution. But that employee portion you can put in right away, or you can do that with your taxes as well. But the account needs to be open before December 31st for 2017. This is one of those really strict rules where even if we receive the account on January 1st, we're not able to open it because we didn't have it on December 31st. And we stay late normally at the end of the year. I think December 31st falls on a Saturday this year, though. Sunday. It's on a Sunday. So the 29th is really your cutoff. And the 29th, we're normally there pretty late. Is there some way I can get the echo off?
Megan?
Yeah?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, I opened mine with you, but I didn't fund it yet. We talked about that today, earlier, yesterday. So actually, I can fund it after the first of the year because I opened the account with you.
Yeah, I'll go over that in a couple of slides.
Okay, good.
There's like an echo all of a sudden. Can that get turned off? Oh, there we go. It stopped. Okay, so the next slide. So individual K plan, we've talked about this as well. So you have the largest tax deductions with your individual K plan. That's why I want to discuss them, especially right now, heading towards the end of the year and tax season coming up. So an example, assuming that you have $30,000 wages for a person that's age 50 or older. So the Roth individual K plan deferral was $24,000. The profit sharing contribution, which is the employer portion, was $7,500, 25% of his income. And the total contribution is $31,500. So that's how much this person was able to put away in 1 year. And look how much was in the Roth, $24,000, quite a bit. I don't know why there's so many slides. There we go. Roth versus 401k. Many of you know about the IRAs and how amazing they are. I personally love the Roth. I have a Roth account, and I actually invest in my Roth account. So my Roth, you're able to do a max contribution of $5,500 with a catch-up of $1,000. Your Roth 401k, you're looking at $18,000 with a catch-up of $6,000. Income qualifications, we're going to skip that because there's ways around it, and there's no income qualifications for a Roth 401k. Because it's your business. It's your 401k plan. My 401k plan has a Roth, so can yours, even though you're self-employed. That's what this individual K plan is really for. So in a Roth IRA, the distributions are not required, and the account does have to be open 5 years or 59 and a half, whichever come later, or penalty-free distributions on 100% of the funds. The Roth 401k, you must take a distribution at 70 and a half, and it needs to be open 5 years or 55 to be penalty free. A little clause in this is even though you have distributions that's required minimum distributions at 70 and a half, you can always roll that over to a Roth IRA and avoid those distributions. Nice way around it. So the fun stuff, stocks or stock. So stock for capital gains and dividends versus capital gains and dividends. This is something that Mountain West IRA actually trademarked. So this is a story that our clients have, we've had a client do, and he's very successful at it. We actually have multiple clients now that invest in what we're going to talk about. So stocks equal capital gain and dividend. So company grows, market conditions create capital gain. Income is produced, creating a dividend to the investor. Correct? Yes? So capital gain and dividends. So as alternative as it gets, we have a gentleman who purchases milk cows. They cost about $2,500 per cow. And he sells a calf each year when it's birth. The calf is $2,500. A bull is $3,000. So he's making 100% capital gain on his investment. And then he leases the cows that he does keep out for milk production, and he's able to create a dividend. So our client is now creating over 100% capital gain off of each one of these. Of course, you have to subtract vet bills and food, but the farmer who leases the cows out for milk production pays for all that. He takes care of them. He has land for them all. All our client is doing is he actually purchased the cattle, and he has well over 50 cattle. I think at this point, the last time I spoke with him, it was well over 50. And they're all creating, he actually only keeps one bull, but the rest are all cows, and each year they birth one. So he's doing really well with his cows. The 4 villains of estate planning is yourself, and taxes, inflation, and allowing somebody else to control your future. A self-directed IRA protects you from all 4 of these. So make sure you take control of your future. So this is Miss Baroness, and she is on the White Hill right now, and I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. That's what she's saying. You know, after you feed her a couple times, it gives you that look like I only need half of what you have there. Just share it, just like the government does. They only want half, right? Thank you, but I will need some more once they're fat and happy taking your money. So this Baroness is an example of the government and how they think that, or how they actually do want some of your money, especially when you're making some. So why not put it away for yourself? We'll be going over the asset allocation model, and then we'll also do the alternative asset allocation model. And this is something that my dad actually created. He created the alternative asset allocation model for clients to have that a balance of portfolio, and you have a mix of different assets in your portfolio. So an asset allocation model is something that stockbrokers and financial advisors will use to make sure that your accounts never really they stay stable. They never really have huge ups and they never have huge downs. It's a way for your money to stay within a certain guidelines. So how my dad built the alternative asset allocation model is something very, very similar with similar outcomes where your money will stay pretty steady. And this is for long-term investors, not the buy and flips and stuff like that. So we'll have a beginning portfolio balance of $250,000 with a 10% cash at 3.6% return. This is just sitting in a money market account making 3.6%. We'll put $25,000 in there, and then 30% bond at 5.7 return with $75,000, and then you have 60% in stocks, which is 9.8% return annually. So $150,000 will go in the stocks. So the cash had a gain of $900. The bonds had a gain of $4,275, and the stocks had a gain of $14,700. So total return after the first year is $269,000 and some change. So pre-inflation of 7.95% after a 30-year average inflation of 4.95%. This is estimated, so just be aware of that. And we got these numbers from the Morningstar Ibsen asset allocation returns table. So the alternative asset allocation model. It's missing one of those A's up at the top. The beginning portfolio balance of $250,000, same $250,000 used in real estate. Of a 15% was put in the first trust deed, which is similar to cash, but you're getting a 12% return, which is very possible these days. I see 12% notes all the time, and they're actually more common than you would think right now, since money is pretty cheap. So $37,500 is put into a first trust deed account. Then 40% of the model is in rentals, getting a 32% return, and so $100,000 is sent there. And then 45% is in land, and you're getting about a 20% return. Land is very volatile, so you put $112,000 and $500. Yeah, that number's messing up. So with the first trust deed, the gain is $4,500, and your rental portfolio is a gain of $32,000, and your land portfolio is a gain of $22,000. So we're looking overall at a total return after the first year of $309,000. And pre-inflation is 23.6%, and after 30 years, you're looking at 20.6%. This is off of the Case-Shiller model. So this is the Case-Shiller model, just showing where we got the numbers from. So we're going to take these out a couple years just to see the differences. You have the asset allocation model. We'll use the rule of 72, and the first asset allocation percentage that I showed you had a return of 7.95% before inflation. So you take 72 divided by 7.95%, and that equals 9 years to double your money. So you're looking at $250,000 will be worth $500,000 in 9 years, and $1 million in 18 years. Are you ready to see what real estate can do? Yes.
Yes.
Thanks. I love it when people answer. The alternative asset allocation model, rule of 72. We're taking the 23.6% before inflation. So 72 divided by 23.6% equals 3 years to double your money. So 250,000 is worth 503 years, 1,000,006, 2,000,009, which is where the other one started at, 4,012, 8,015, and 16 and 18 years. Who would rather double their money much, much more faster using real estate? Me. I'm glad everybody's at a real estate meeting and only a few people want to double it. How does a self-directed IRA actually work? How do you do this in a self-directed IRA? 1, you'll choose a self-directed IRA company. 2, you'll select an account type, which is the account types we went over. You'll open an account with the IRA starter kit. You'll fund the account with a transfer, rollover, or a contribution. And then you'll select an investment. And this investment is your choice. Remember, you're controlling your future. And the investment purchase, you'll go through the process with Mountain West IRA. And the IRA will then own the asset, and all income will come back to the IRA, and any expenses will come from the IRA. So, sorry, my dog's moving. We offer service through education, and we always speak at events. And like they said at the beginning, we have a class on Green's platform on the first Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m., and I teach that class. And we cover small topics. It's normally short presentations, about 30 minutes long, 20 to 30 minutes long. I like to keep it short, and we leave a lot of room for questions throughout the presentation. It's more of a coaching session versus me doing something like this. So please join us on the first Tuesday of the month for more self-directed education. And this is all my contact information if you're interested. I do have one more thing that I would like to cover, and that was what Mark was talking about in his question, talking about contributions, and we're at the end of the year right now. So what to actually do with contributions and how to maximize my use of a new self-directed IRA. If you're opening a new self-directed IRA, you'll just need to fill out the IRA starter kit. We'll actually not officially open your account with an IRA until you fund it. So it costs us money to open the account. So we keep your account and account paperwork. You have 3 months to fund. So within those 3 months, you can do a contribution, a transfer from an IRA to IRA, or a rollover, which is employer plan to IRA. Right now, with it being at the end of 2017, you have some really fun things you can do to double the amount that you put in because you have 2018 right around the corner. So January 1st, you can open your account or have the paperwork with us telling us when you're going to open it. And January 1st through April 15th, you can contribute for 2017 and 2018. So 2017 contribution goes until April 15th unless you file an extension. At that point, it goes to your extension date, or you can do it now. And then January 1st through April 2019, you're able to contribute for 2018. Did I lose anyone on that one? It's a lot of years.
Yeah.
I did lose you?
That's all right, Megan. We'll pick it up next time.
All right. So with the contribution, right now with it being the end of the year, you do have a lot of options right now with getting the money in. I know 5,500 is not a lot, or 6,500, but imagine putting that in for 2 years really quickly. So just leave your options open and call me if you have any questions, especially with the individual K. I covered that really intense tonight, and it's just because you do have a cutoff on the end of December. To actually get that paperwork to me, we will open that account immediately, even without funding, just in case you are ready to get it funded around the tax time. Normally, people take until the end of the tax time, but we do like to have those open for people to max out their 2017 and 2018 contributions. So imagine 54,000 plus whatever you do for 2018. So you can really put away money. People, I hear all the time, well, what am I supposed to do with just a small contribution? This is the time to really get 2 years worth of contributions in just a few months. and you're able to do it and actually use those funds for alternative assets and investments that you're already investing in. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'm here to help you. And I'm able to assist you, Bianca or Diana, in our office. And you can talk to all three of us. Nobody is mission crazy or anything, so don't feel like you have to talk to me at all. So we're here really to help and educate you. That's what we're here for, so let us know. Any questions?
Marcus, put the mic on. All right, we have a question.
Yeah, on your example with the 15% for the first trustee deed, is that where your IRA is loaning somebody money on a piece of property?
Yes, so it's a promissory note with the trustee. So you can be lending somebody money. You can be equity partner in the deal. This is just making sure you get 12% in the note of somehow.
That's something we have to find.
Yes, you have to find everything.
Yesterday's class was Megan talked about lending money, and short and sweet. You imagine making 12% on one of your, borrowing money or some hard money, but you're making it tax free. So you're making an easy 12%, but it's actually double that because it comes back to you tax free. So
you're making it
that class is going to be up on the website. You can check it out for us.
It's already on there.
Let's thank Megan for talking for 45 minutes without taking a break. Thanks, Megan. I know you try, and I told her, I said, listen, I need you to get in here before the end of the year because this is a critical time to double up your money for people who don't have an IRA set up, which I don't, and I finally filled one out after not doing it for 30 years. I'm finally trying to catch up. So
do the math
Megan,
of how much money you would have saved if you did it.
I would have not blown already if it was in a IRA instead of in some property that I can quick flip to and end up losing the money.
I have a question for Megan.
Steve has a question in the back.
Yeah.
The back.
Yeah. Megan, if you do a Roth and you partner with a Roth, or you purchase a property in your Roth, and you partner with somebody.
Yes, you can. You can either partner with another IRA, which is normally the easiest part, especially if we have all the accounts at our office. You can partner with another IRA, or you can partner with someone personally. If you partner with someone, even yourself personally, you're not able to have a loan on the property. And a loan is a whole different topic that I don't want to bombard you guys with today. But if you were to just do a 100% cash deal, you can partner. And you can partner with yourself, just so you are aware. You just cannot sell, you can't buy or sell or trade between yourself, but you can always partner as long as it's established at the beginning of the contract.
Okay, so you have to have certain contributory portion to the partnership that allocate where the profit goes. In other words, I bring a deal to somebody oftentimes where because I bring the deal, they don't require me to bring the money. Okay, so they fund the deal, and even though I might have only funded my Roth for $5,500, they would be willing to allow me to partner on the deal without putting my own money in the deal.
Is it a rehab or is it a long-term hold?
It could be, it could be either or.
Okay.
And I would look at either scenario. So my question becomes: are there any issues with the tax implications of taking all of that profit, 50% of the profit, without necessarily having put any money into the deal because I created value in the partnership? But if you can call it barter, you can call it
Your goodwill,
the deal. So I fund my Roth this year for $5,500. and I've got a guy that we partner on a deal, and we make the deal makes a lot of money, but he brings the cash because that's what he does in the deals. So can I put all of that profit into my Roth and keep that money riding as long as I don't pull it out?
No, you would need for him to pay you at the beginning for the deal, and then have it.
Maggie, what he's saying is, can his portion of be goodwill as opposed to cash and get half of the profits as we do now and go back into the Roth?
I think it'll really depend on, I understand the deal, but I think it'll really depend on the paperwork. Whatever the paperwork says. So if you found, with it being a real estate deal, like with an actual property, I think it makes it a little bit harder, and I may have to find out. That's a really gray area because you're not supposed to get paid for your services, but I understand that you're getting paid by long-term equity in it. But if you were to do a note and say you're connecting a note, somebody who would like to borrow money and a lender, I think it'd be easier.
That's your commission that you're putting in the deal?
No, you could say that, but I'm not even connecting that. I'm just saying,
Well,
because I brought this deal, I own 50% of the profit.
It's not
paying for service.
Yeah, it's just with when you have a direction of investment form, or like when we fund a deal, and I'm just going to tell you a direct overview of how we fund it. So if it says 50% ownership on the paperwork, we would expect 50% coming from each account. So I do think that the paperwork may have to be changed a little bit with the specifics on that. And if we talk about it more on a personal level, I think that'll help. But with actual property, either cash flowing or rehab, it'll just really depend on the paperwork and how it's all written out. That's why I was thinking if it's just money-wise, promissory note creation, I think it'd be a lot easier to do those type of deals with the money on your part.
It's actually not partnering with another IRA, your IRA partnering with another person. You could partner with another IRA, but it could be another person also.
The issue and how the IRS could see it, which I'm not 100% sure on. I'm going to do research on this. So how the IRS could see it is that your IRA is benefiting for services that you do for your IRA. So that's similar to like my property management example. Like this is something that you would do normally, and you would get paid on the back end of the asset. And because you brought this service, then it could be construed as it could be construed as you're benefiting by your service and not getting paid right now, like in your pocket, and that you're not getting paid in your IRA is. The hard part to show the IRS is that, no, this is what's actually happening. This is how I structured it, and then this is how I get paid on the back end, blah, blah, blah. Just every time you do a deal, you'll have to think of, how can I explain this to the IRS?
You can always write a $5,000 check out of it, and the guy not cash it or cash it, get it back to you. There's always a way.
Basic question.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, Megan. She's always willing to talk on the phone. She gives a class at least once a month, and there's hours and hours of her and her father's training that she actually takes a couple breaths in between her paragraphs. Thanks again, Megan.
And if you have a chance, you should really check out my dad's 6 hours. I think it's 6 hours. He said you should check out that course if it's posted already. It's an awesome course. We actually train our employees with that.
And it's
course.
all broken up, and if you don't want to hear about stocks, you don't have to watch the stock thing. It's Doc and Andrea and Marcus really did a good job of breaking it out. All right. Well, thanks, Megan.
Thank you.
If there's anybody else online who wants to ask a question, just pop on here or pop on and just push the ask question button. But all right, Marcus, I'm going to bring Steve up here, but why don't you play that little the little video that I asked you to put up for us. In the spirit of the symphony. And remember, if anyone wants to sign up tonight, tell me or Steve, and I'll put your name in the little hat. I'll wait till Steve's done. If anybody wants to sign up, I'll put your name in the drawing for these tickets. Actually, I made that. It came out pretty good. Well, anyway, so that's our show for green. I'm going to bring up Steve Chasen here to finish this out. When he's done here, I'm going to draw the tickets. So remind somebody that you're going to be signing up tonight. John, if you want to sign up or whatever, for $100, you get $200 ticket.
Anyway, this is actually a really relevant point. For those of you guys if you haven't followed tonight, if you're not doing self-directed IRAs, and we're going to follow up on this because there's a particular property that I'm interested in. Les knows what I'm talking about. So if you have a Roth, I mean, if you have a very small contribution to a Roth, and then you can partner with somebody, and you can simply you move a lot of profit through it.
Brain sling.
Yeah, basically, and essentially when you pull it out at age 59, it's tax-free, and then you can self-direct it if you want to in an interim period. So that's great information for really building wealth. I don't know if any of you guys work with that right now. I apologize for not being here earlier. We've got a farm out in Charlotte that we bought, and had a couple from California that's interested in buying it, so I had to go walk some land tonight. Anyway, what you guys saw with Megan is a little bit of an example of some of the training that we do online. And we have various trainers that come several times a week. Just depends on which week. Paul, Jeremy, training in various aspects of real estate. This is not necessarily for the first level investor, but really the first level investor should be doing exactly this. You should be fully funding your retirement accounts. Either they usually say a SEP is better, or they usually say tax deferred is better. You can put up to 25% of your income into a tax deferred because of the growth that you get. But if you can leverage it and you can do the Roth like we're talking about, then the Roth can be better. But you should be maximizing that if you're buying real estate to hold over the long haul. And so it's one of the things we talk about at Green, and I guess quite about half the room, maybe a little more than half is members. We have a network marketing company. We always invite everyone. This is free every Wednesday. But we get into a little more intense training for people that are serious about their real estate and want to take it to the next level. We do trainings on Tuesday nights for more of the wholesalers, the people that are actively out looking for flips, that kind of thing. So quite a few of you were here last night for that. So if you guys want to become a part of the network marketing company, it's $109 a month. There aren't any junk fees, and you can actually make money bringing people to the meetings. We're going to grow this thing nationwide. And for those of you guys who just want to be a part of our Wednesday meeting, that's fine too. We enjoy having everyone here. So, other than that, guys, appreciate you coming. We try to keep this on time as much as possible. So Normally, we let people in at 6, start the meeting at 6:30, try to end it at 7:30, and then we're going to keep everyone out at 8. You guys can exchange business cards, ask questions, talk to each other, and then if anybody wants to sign up, just grab someone, whoever invited you.
See, so somebody, if they bring in, they have 200 people in their downline.
200 people in your downline. We'll get there eventually. 200 people in your downline with this company. It's a binary system. So you would have roughly, it's $13.45 a month per person on your matching leg. So depends, 200 per person.
Well, I said the running leg is going to take care of itself. So most of those people.
If you had 100 and 100, you'd be making $1,345 a month. But that's not. You don't have to bring in. You can bring in one person and still make the same amount. They can bring in those people, and you can make it to infinity, essentially. But it's up to the first $75,000 in income, $13.45 a month on your matching binary leg. So if this person brings in 100 people, and this person brings in 100 people, you don't have to do any work. You should still do work. That's the way the system works. So and there are other bonuses that are involved. If you bring one person in and they become a member, you get $33 a month for 3 months. So it's $99 basically if they stay with you for signing somebody up. And that runs for 3 months. We basically want you to be able to pay for your membership quickly if you're interested in joining. And the online stuff is a lot of fun. We've got some great people, and they do some a little more intense training. It's interactive. It's not just someone getting in front of the room. It's stuff where you can actually get in, ask questions, go back and forth. So for those of you guys who are interested in the more intense stuff, then we encourage you to come join us online.
Yeah, well, this is a list of, like I said, the pool here. For whoever signed up gets a vote, gets a thing, and whoever brought them in also gets in there. Lloyd not only gets one for signing up before I did it all the way back to October. So Lloyd got one for not only coming in, but brought in 4 people. So you have 5 little tickets in here. So that's 3. And then the rest of the people over here are the people who they actually signed up. Steve, you're in here, but I didn't put your ticket in, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the symphony. If anybody here wants to sign up tonight, raise your hand. No? All right.
Are you picking it?
Yeah, she's picking it. Chanel.
She was here last night.
She was here last night.
Well, that's the way I use it. Now, who brought her in?
I did.
Did you know where she get hold of her?
Yeah, I can call.
Well, there you go.
All right.
There you go. 2 tickets to the symphony. Wow. All right. We can work on the next pool. The next one is going to be for my father's 100th birthday, January 31st. So start bringing your things now because the gift's going to be pretty good. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It was supposed to be here by now, but it's not. So yeah, start bringing in your people, and thank you for coming.